Just say something. Father is a name. At the same time, it's a title. It's an office that one sits and occupies. There are responsibilities that attach to that office. There is a calling that is on top of that office. You may disrespect a person. You never can disrespect the office he occupies. Otherwise, you'll be against God's ordained instruction. I want to start looking at Deuteronomy 6:6-7. A charge to fathers. And it says here, these words I am commanding you today are to be upon your hearts. And you shall teach them diligently to your children and speak of them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. This is a charge to fathers. Fathers are called here to be teachers of the word. Who are the subject? Your children, your household. And let me just make a little bit addition right now by way of diversion. Father is not just M-A-N. It's every individual that that's responsible to training and teaching children. Sometimes fathers are in the house, but they are absent because they are emotionally absent or physically absent, and they have lost that title, and the woman takes over the position to train and raise the children. That woman is a father. You got it? Mm-hmm. The responsibility is the father are made to teach the children, the household, the word of God. And now, if we look further into verse 17, 18, 19 verses. And the Lord said, shall I hide from Abraham what I am about to do? The revealing of secret is the entitlement of fathers that works with God. 18 says, Abraham will surely become a great and powerful nation. That was not the reason he said he will not hide things from him. That's not the reason. He claimed him to be his friend. It's one of the many achievements, many into that place. God, as much as he takes honor in his word, will not drop it in the hand of an entity that don't know what to do with it. He put it in your hand as a father to raise godly children. That's why you are chosen. He pulled you. He pulled him from idol-worshipping generation. He pulled him out of his father's land. He called him. He chose him because this is the reason. For I have chosen him so that he will command his children and his household after him to keep the way of the Lord by doing what is right and just. In order that one that is set in place, so that the Lord will bring the promise that he has promised to fruition. When you start as a father, leading the children, teaching the children, in a short while I will tell you how to lead the children. Forget what you say. Words are cheap. It has no purpose. It's just noise. It said, for I have chosen him so that he will command. Somebody say command. He will command his children and his household after him to keep the way of the Lord by doing what is right and just, in order that the Lord may bring upon Abraham what he has promised. There's another one more passage to read. Psalm 78 verses 5 to 7. It's not just saying to you Father, teach your children. It's a commandment. It says since Abraham will command his children. I'm going to talk to you, break down the command part. For he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers. You see, command? He commanded our fathers to teach. You are commanded as a father to teach. You have no options. It's not subject to options, either this or that. For he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers to teach to their children. You are mandated to teach your children. That the coming generation would know them. The coming generation. Even children yet to be born. To arise and to tell their own children. See, to the next level. To the next level. You see, when your children, you are not commanding just your children for your children's sake. You are commanding generation yet unborn through your children that will become teachers of teachers. You command your children the way of God, the right and wrong of what to do, and so that when they are groomed in it so well, they will be able to replicate the same thing to their children, and to their children, to the one yet to be born. Taking this somewhere. That they should put their confidence in God, not forgetting his works, but keeping his commandment. It's a command. Now, before I go further, I want to talk a little bit about how to command our children. Solomon had this to say. All you want to do, you want to pass a legacy to your children that they will pass to their children. Forget about what you'll be able to acquire. It's rubbish. You see, contrary to you working hard and piling up, the error in that one is with greater wealth is greater sorrow. And when you work hard under the sun and you give it to a child that will be a foolish one, will squander it and not know how to handle it, and then he said all that too is vanity. The inheritance is good in the hand of a wise child. The child cannot be wise if you do not raise him. And the word I use today is inculcate, not command. Inculcate. I'll break down the meaning of inculcate into your child, so that you seal it with a stamp that you pump it into them to the extent they know. Now you are the one to live the life for them to see. Forget the wealth. If somebody is about to die, if they wake you up and let you see ahead of time while your children will use what you left, you will cry that you work in this earth for nothing. You work hard, you give it to a fool that don't know the value. And this is one thing that David did, that Solomon failed. The wisest man on earth, there was nobody before, nobody can ever be after. He failed woefully in this area of raising godly children that will pass down the commands of God to the next generation. He failed. According to King Solomon in the book of Ecclesiastes, leaving an inheritance to someone who is wasteful is one of the greatest frustrations. And then he concluded that it is deeply meaningless and a grievous evil for a wise worker to leave their hard-earned wealth to a foolish successor who has done nothing to earn it. He says foolishness. He said it well in Ecclesiastes 2:19. And who knows whether he will be a wise man or a fool? Yet he will have control over all the fruit of my labor, for which I have labored by acting wisely under the sun. This too is vanity, futility, self-conceit. That's the Amplified Version. How do we raise? The Bible says, let he that work not eat not. Yes, he said. What I pursue in the absence of God is vanity. I'm telling you now. What I labor day and night pursuing in the absence of God is vanity. You can tell me how much you know of the religion. Yours is religion, a bunch of do's and don'ts. I never feel a relationship that truly seek the heart of the Father and put down to the generation, changing, chastising, encouraging, all at the same time. This, I say, is your responsibility as a father. This is what David did. You know, Solomon said that the Lord has granted me peace on all areas. There is no adversity or evil occurrence. You know who did that work? David. He did it so much that he was condemned from building the temple because it's so bloody. But he did it so much that the children coming will be able to stand in the midst of trouble. He paved a way for the son to thrive. It's not a bad thing for the father to do. Inheritance is good. But there's something that's much better than inheritance. Virtue. And I will teach you how to, I'll describe how to get that through. The words I'm commanding you today are to be upon your hearts, and you shall teach. How do you teach? By bunch of instruction. Don't do that. Don't do this. Don't sit down. That was why the Old Testament failed, because people cannot overcome the laws. But it's a relationship that will make you from within to pour out. How does it matter? What they don't see you do, they won't do. Who is teaching them? Let me digress and say something that a lot of you are tired of hearing, that you don't really want to hear. 6 o'clock prayer is not what I start to do as a pastor. It's what I received from my father. It's what I'm teaching my children. Now I'm teaching the church. Sometimes I sleep so late. I'm tired. If I don't come to prayer, morning prayer for 2 months, anybody will hold me? I have a charge. I have a responsibility to God. Sometimes I struggle to wake up. I know who comes. I know who goes. I know people that will come by 6:45 when I'm about to be called in. I know people that the moment they hear my voice, they cut off. They leave at 6:45. I see people that never come to Bible study, to prayer meeting for months. But I'm trying to inculcate it by training with example. What are you teaching your children with example? When they were growing up, when I said there's no TV between this and this for us except for news, there are some movies that I would love to, but when them around, I turn it off. Because that is not what I want to teach them. The most effective ways to cultivate virtue include modeling by example. It's not what you say. It's your lifestyle. No, I said to my children one time, I said, when the 4 were growing up, not just and the rest of them, it is the fathers and mothers' homework for the children to receive certificate of perfect attendance. That is the parents' responsibility. All my children, if the A in science, star in this, whatever it is, even the one that don't, one certificate is certificate of perfect attendance. That is my record. That's my grade. In the rain, I take them to school. When things is chaotic, I take them to the bus stop. When I'm out of the country, I wake somebody else to go. Take back to the bus stop. Drive out to the bus stop now because this rain is too cold. Drive out and stay there until Chicago. That is my certificate. Your child is, I'm saying it. What you don't train them to do, they won't know how to do. And the vacuum that is vacant there, enemy will fill it up for them. Children and adults alike learn by observing others. What are they, regardless of what you say, what are they learning from your lifestyle? Pop the bottle of champagne every day. They will grow and become alcoholic. You put them there. You're a father that's misleading the children. I have a daughter, she owns a winery. One day I told her, I said, we were there and she gave the governors, she said she gave the governor's wife some different kinds of wine. And I said to her, I said, you said you just added champagne. She talked about the champagne. I said, I need to see it. So the day she came to see me, she said, I didn't forget. She brought the champagne. I tasted it. It tasted so sweet. But afterward, this about 2 weeks ago, and I called her the next day. I said, you know what? I took a little steep and I tried to cork it back. I shape in the cork. I put it back. The next day, the cork already jumped over anywhere. I said, can you make it like that taste without alcohol? She almost fall out of her chair laughing. Because they put the bubble there, but let the alcohol be out of it. Then I will buy it from you. She was laughing. She told me, she said, your son don't even drink too like you. Did I impose on Michael not to drink? No. Did they drink sometime before? Maybe. Did they sneak back and drink? God knows. But they know what I stand for and they know what I represent. By the time he starts to look at raising children, he will be thinking that I can't drink in front of my children because I'm training them to become like me. Example. What kind of example are you giving your children? They see the father, they know from the argument that the father having a side chick outside, and the man will say, it's a man's world. Well, I can do that. What are you raising? What generation are you raising? Father teach by example. Consistently demonstrating fairness, kindness, perseverance in your own life provides a tangible blueprint for others to follow. I'll tell you about something here. When he was about to get married, my friend, Pastor Ben, he came. And he said that, my wife asked what time the ceremony will start, and I told him, he said, but why are you going out? You know, it's a Nigerian party. He said, no, Pastor John, don't play with time. He came early that day. And that day, Jade and our group decided to take all the time to paint face. I was boiling with rage. I don't play with time. People around me must know. If you are here, you are used to taking an excuse for not coming early. That is what your children will start to do because that's the life you set for them. I don't need to answer to you. If I call a meeting, I'm the first to come. It's called discipline. Father must be disciplined to be able to inculcate discipline in the life of the children. I'm still going to break down inculcating. Habituation. That goes along with practice. Aristotle believed that we become virtuous by performing virtuous actions. Doing the right thing repeatedly, even when it's difficult, eventually builds into a natural character trait. You know how to form habits? When you decide to do the same thing over and over for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. By the time you do it for 3 months, you just wake up to. A lot of people just sleep at 10 and they wake up at 5. They sleep at 12, they wake up at 5. They sleep at 1, they wake up at. The body has already built to that habit. And when your children see consistency and they see fairness, they say, oh, if you do this, no, Daddy won't like it. Why? Because it's not right. Why is it not right? You do this to this and you're not doing to the second. Let them know where you stand. That is the charge for fathers. Like I said, father is not just man. It's anybody that is in a position to raise children. You are a father, you are called, you are anointed for a purpose. Virtue. And that is part of what we're saying. It's something you earn. It's an earned character-driven trait that is acquired through deliberate reflection, moral habits, and personal discipline. When I say virtue, it's way different from inheritance. By birth and by parents' level, you inherit certain things, but you'll be the fullest fool if you are not disciplined and if you do not have virtue. That is when you will use your money to be acquiring girlfriends and buying what you don't really need to please people that don't care. Virtue is what you need to lay down and give to your children. So when you cross over, they will go to the same God that you go to. And when they're in trouble, they will run to the one that you normally run to. Because you've handed them to. Virtue is what you will put something in it, you seal it by whatever it is, and it stays there, nothing can take it. He said that Mary, Martha, you worry about so many things. Mary has taken that. What no man can take away from her. I took a book to talk a little bit about inculcating. That's what you put. That's how you put it in them. Inculcate means to fix beliefs, values, or ideas into someone's mind. Wow. Through persistent instruction, frequent repetition, or admonition. You know what this baby, the baby, there in the little children, it will say that, and when the little baby start to laugh and make fun, it say, hey, what did mama say to you? If you don't have anything good, what? Don't say. That's kind of how you keep repeating it. You keep emphasizing it so that it becomes part. It now sinks into their system. It goes into the fabric of their being, and they know it. So when they want to see, let me say, how come when you hear somebody say the F word, your body, because it's been flushed out of the system. There's no one person that never used the F. If you are getting upset and you're using the F word, man, you need a lot of grace. Because F and everything, BS or anything, is what would explain that they wrong you. It just shows that you are not so much different from those people that are doing the same. I was at my mechanic and he said the F, my body jacked because it's been flushed. Because of continuous and repetitive instruction, it's totally flushed out. A dedicated teacher, didn't they say to teach? A dedicated teacher worked hard to inculcate love of learning in her students. When students go to class, they just say, he's coming to it. But when you make it fun and they start to generate interest and they start to look, they imbibe the system that makes learning to become fun. Parents often try to inculcate their children with a strong sense of responsibility. You teach them. You repeat it. You demonstrate it. More than what you say, what you do carries weight. There's a charge to fathers. Let me look at the synonyms of inculcate. To better understand its weight, consider these three related works. To consider the weight of inculcating, to inculcate something. Instill, it means instill, imparting values, imparting knowledge, gradually over a period of time. You can't be tired. You will not give up. The children might be giving you a whole lot of hard time. What you want them to do, they don't want to do. But you cannot give up. You continue. You be insistent, deliberate, teaching them, bringing it back, rehearsing it, and practicing it yourself. That is how they can learn. And when they catch it, it's not what they are taught, but it's what they catch. When they catch it, permanently is theirs. Then you can rest at peace. Inculcate into the children. The next one is implant. We implant, that is teaching them in a way that makes the lesson highly permanent in them. You make it, how do you teach? They don't understand. Let me tell you one day. I went to the house and I do not want to give the code to my house to the children. Right? I was at the house and Christian was right behind me. And I wanted to shield him from knowing the keyword. When I tried the first time, it didn't open. So I lose my guard and I punch it again. It didn't open. I said, don't worry, I'll go to the back. And he said, Papa, it's open. How do you know? He said, I saw the number, I crammed it, and I... They learn from what you do much more than what you say. So say it fine, but more than what you say, do it so they can grab it and use it and then be able to teach it. For what you don't have, you can't give. The third one is ingrain. Ingrain, I-N-G-R-A-N. That is to firmly establish an attitude or habit in some, ingrain into them. That beliefs that you know, that you have. So that when they are grown, exactly the way you raise them is the way they will raise the next one. And they will raise the next one. You say, God bless you and keep you. God let his face shine upon you. And you say, and your children, and their children, and their children. It will not be so if you don't get the fourth set of people, which are your direct children, and impart into them, ingrain into them, sealing into them, burning like a hot metal into their chest, into their heart, so they can now reproduce that, replicate it to the next generation and to the next generation. How then should they know that you are son of your father? How soon did they know? Don't rest your confidence in that which can blow up like a wind, but what sits permanent that can never be shaken. That is the role, and that is the charge. And if fathers and responsible fathers that have been chosen, like God said, I chose Abraham, I called him out, I anoint him, I ordain him, I instruct him, I assign him to raise godly children that will know fairness and the fear of God in their heart. So those ones will be able to give to the rest of the children, and the rest of the children, and the rest of the children to the 10th generation. It will never change. It will never change. So I decree to you today, assume your responsibility. Take over the child the Lord has called you. Perform the reason he has ordained you and assigned you. And greater will be your success in Jesus' mighty name. So to all of you, I say Happy Father's Day. The Lord is good. The Lord is good. Yes, Saraboko Sheteria. Seek that which never perish. I know they have, the ladies are walking around. They may want to take over now.